Thank you, Steve. I encourage everybody to be there for the first quarter, just in case y'all want to. We'll get that fixed. First thing I want to do is recognize a couple people real fast. Coach Stevens, I appreciate you being here, man. Seriously, that's awesome. And then if you would have been at the game Saturday, just unbelievable. It was like a home crowd on the visitor side. 500 plus members of the UCA family, band included. President Davis and our alumni association put together a great trip with our Bear Den, partnered with our Bear Den, obviously our UCA Purple Circle. Those of you that made the trip, you saw it in person, but when you're playing late in the fourth quarter on the road and you've got all of that purple behind you, plus a band that's supporting you, that may have been the difference in the game. I mean, you turn around, 95-degree day, if you're there, you understand. That's why I'm sunburnt and got sunglasses, look like I've been skiing, but hot day, all those things, and then for have the band and all those fans there was huge for us, and huge outcome. So whoever was a part of that, appreciate that. That'll go a long way, when you're on the road, and that our players enjoy that. Also, I was told I've got to make sure everybody knows my wife's here, Jessica. So a lot of y'all know her, but she'd be better than me. She bleeds purple too. So no, Austin Peay, big week. Look. Week 2 of the season and second road game in a row. Again, I said last week, basically the same itinerary, going the same way on I-40, just playing a different opponent. So our guys handled themselves, obviously coming away with a win to the best of their abilities. We've got a lot to clean up. One thing I definitely want to say is I want to give credit to Austin Peay. That program is in great shape and great hands. Coach Hudspeth's done a great job continuing the success that they've built over the last couple of years. Coach Will Healy obviously, built that program up and now resulted in him getting an FBS job. So the cupboard wasn't bare. I mean, if you walked on the sideline before that game, they physically looked like a playoff team. They played like a playoff team. You guys mark my words. That team's going to be a winning team. I'll be surprised if that team doesn't win 8 games. I mean, they've got a great program. They've got a great group of young men playing for them, and then obviously we know they're well coached with Coach Hudspeth. But physically a very, very big team. When I say big, I mean receivers were large, offensive line was big, defensive front was heavy. All those things that you see a lot of times in November, December from playoff teams. So I knew when we stepped off the bus and we walked out there, they were warming up, we were walking out. I feel like we looked pretty good physically as well, but they matched us physically. I said, man, this is going to be a good test, and I thought our guys responded to that challenge. Didn't start the game out like we wanted. Now, I say that in an offensive coach's mind. Now, let's think about this. We didn't start the game off like we wanted from the offensive side. Defensively, we held them to 88 yards in the first half. Unbelievable job. Coach Williams, we talked about starting fast. Week 1, first play of the game, they take it 70. Next drive, they take it 6-7 plays, score a touchdown. We're down 14-0 to Western Kentucky. We hold Austin Peay to 88 yards of offense in the first half. And really, if you take away 2 deep balls in the second half, it's not even, it's a phenomenal defensive performance. I think Coach Williams and his staff have done a great job rotating guys in and out. A lot of you guys probably didn't even know who Davis Harrison was before Saturday. Coach Williams has a good eye for recognizing guys that can make plays and putting them in that position, and we thought Davis was a great matchup problem for them, and he ended up being that way. So very excited about the way our defense played. Offensively, I thought, like week 1, the drive before the half was as big a moment as we could have had. It was almost like a last drive of a game. We take a shot, we get some chunk plays, we get it down, the clock's rolling down. We get it to a 4th and short, and I just wanted to wind that clock down to 2 seconds to take a field goal so I didn't have to kick off to their All-American kick returner again to give them a shot right there before halftime. So big momentum shift going in 3-0 at halftime. Probably the first game I've been a part of to go in 3-0 in my career, but didn't have a sense of any kind of panic. Didn't have a sense of any kind of there was no bickering or what's wrong, or it was just we're up 3-0. Let's fix it and let's go out and do better in the second half. Big fourth quarter. I talk to the guys, look, if you're doing what we're doing in the fourth quarter, it shows a lot about your team. It doesn't show anything about your individual effort. Yeah, Lawan's got a lot of accolades. He's done a great job the first 2 games. Yeah, Braylon's completing a lot of passes. But, man, it comes down to all 11 guys that are on the football field when it's in the fourth quarter. 95-degree day, a 2 o'clock kickoff. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. You know, those guys probably lost 8 to 10 pounds. I mean, that in the fourth quarter, it's about who's going to dig deep enough in their heart, in their gut, and come away and do what it takes to win the game. And that's what they did. And what you see is you see unbelievable belief from our coaching staff, which then trickles down to our players, and they responded. And that's what it's about. And that's exciting, and that's something to build on because our best football is ahead of us. Goodness gracious, it's ahead of us. You know, we've got a long way to go, you know, and to be the program we want to be and continue to push forward, yeah, we're going to have to get the run game corrected and fixed. Yes, we are. You know, we're going to have to get more sacks from the defensive line. You know, we've got 1 sack in 2 games. You know, we've won 2 games by rushing for a net total of 80 yards between 2 games. You know, but we also have the most efficient passer in the country. We've got a kid leading the country in receiving yards. You know, and our defense is stopping the run at a high clip right now. So you look at all the things. We're not turning the ball over. We're turning them over. You know, little things like that are things that really matter when you look at efficiency. You know, at the end of the day, I've learned, especially as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator, is a little different. I was a big, you know, as a coordinator, you're kind of, you know, you're judged on your statistics. How are you doing? All this. That's the last thing I look at. I look at efficiency ratings, and right now we're playing at a very high clip on all the efficiency ratings you're looking for. You can't judge heart, and that's what this team has right now. I don't know. I can't tell you other than a couple of numbers of guaranteed. You know, I can tell you Braylon's going to run out there Saturday, probably play pretty good. I can tell you Lawan's going to run out there, probably play pretty good. Defensively, Juan Jackson's going to be out there. But after that, we've got a group of guys, I think, that I don't know that we have any just superstars, but we've got a group of guys that come together and play great football. And that's what is really neat about watching the depth we're producing right now. Because, one, you beat a good Western Kentucky team. If y'all didn't check, they beat Florida International for their conference opener down at Florida International. So they come back with a win. Austin Peay, you know, the week before put it on NC Central. They're going to be a winning team. So we beat 2 good football teams on the road. Now, very excited about the conference opener against Abilene Christian. Great program. Look, that game last year, the last game of the season, probably catapulted us into having the recruiting class we had, into having a great offseason that we had. You know, when you leave the season with a win and you have that good taste in your mouth, especially against a great program, because if Abilene wins that game last year, they're probably going to the playoffs. And we knocked them out of the playoffs last year to get us, a winning season, both overall and in conference play, was a huge win for us over in Abilene, Texas. So we know what kind of program they are. Coach Durrell, you know, I think I was talking to Pete before I came up here. I think he's got the highest winning percentage of any coach in college football. You know, he had all those successful years at Northwest Missouri. So just a well-coached football team. They're going to come in here ready to play. They've got a great quarterback like we do, Luke Anthony. He's as efficient a quarterback as Braylon is. He's very smart, takes what the defense gives him. They've got a linebacker that's a preseason All-American, led the conference in tackles last year. So they've got their quarterback on offense and they got their quarterback on defense. And if you can build around those guys, you're probably going to have a pretty good team. So you know, we'll be tested on Saturday. They're gonna be ready to go, but I know we will be too, and that's something I'm excited about. Heard a couple people comment about the heat a little bit. You know, we're gonna make some adjustments this week. Look, I'm a big believer that when you create monotony, when you create routine, you can let some bad stuff creep in. You know, you can start going through the motions. So we're going to do some different things this week, practice-wise, to hopefully help our guys. You know, you get to a Wednesday practice and it's 97 degrees on September 11th or 9th. I guess it'll be 11th on Wednesday. You know, you can set yourself up for failure. So we're going to practice under the lights on Wednesday night to try to change it up. You know, get under the lights like we're playing in the game. Turn the scoreboard on. Do some different things. You know, so we're going to try to continue to be creative and keep our kids engaged and getting better as the season goes on, because that's what it's about. You know, we've proven within games we get stronger as the game goes on. Now we've got to continue to prove that as the season goes on, and that's what our goal is. So very excited about this weekend. Excited to be home. You know, hopefully we'll have a huge crowd. You know, my expectation level is very high. You know, we're going to put a great product on the field. Obviously, being a conference opener, it ought to be great. One thing before I take any questions, we had an opportunity on Friday night to have James Mitchell. Coach Martin recruited him out of high school, and he talks really highly of Coach. I'm just telling you. So he came and spoke to our team before the game, Friday night. He is the team chaplain for the Tennessee Titans. He was a former player here, I think 80 to 82. Just a phenomenal. Just brought the house down. Just phenomenal story, phenomenal man. And I was telling Dr. Teague this. I mean, we've got Bears all over the country that we don't even. I mean, it's just unreal. I mean, just the success that this university and athletic department breeds and spreads out across the country is really neat. And to have the opportunity for him to come over and speak to our team, and with his story and just what UCA meant to him and where he is now. Was a game changer. It's really neat. And I was telling our players, you know, that's going to be one of y'all here in about 30 years. And it's the truth, you know, and that's what's so exciting about stuff like that.